Hello again, Year 9, and welcome to Lesson 2 of your English lessons for this week. We are still looking at the poem As Imperceptibly as Grief, but today we're going to be looking at key quotations that tie in with one of the key themes from the poem, which is the passing of time. So, as always, make sure you've got your fact book in front of you, a copy of the poem, your pen, pencil, highlighter, lined paper, whatever else it is that you are writing on. So, first things first, let's see what you can remember from last lesson. So, pause the video now and have a go at filling in the quotations. Okay, there are some words missing. Can you remember what goes where? And hopefully you should have these answers. The summer lapsed away, a quietness distilled as twilight long begun, the morning foreign shone, a courteous yet harrowing grace, and thus without a wing. So give yourself 5 out of 5 if you've got them right. If not, please don't worry, just make sure that you've got the right answers written down for me. Okay, moving forward then. You'll notice that if you look back at week 2, lesson 1 in your fact book, we didn't quite get round to answering this question. Why do you think the series of dashes has been used in this poem? What I'd like you to do is spend a couple of minutes now, look back at the poem again and try to figure out why you think there is this series of dashes for me. And if I reveal the answer to you, hopefully you have got something similar to Dickinson uses a series of dashes to create a hesitant and disjointed pace to the poem, reflecting her own fractured state of mind. Okay, remember that it's like this uncertain, this cautious pace to the poem. Now, if you notice when you look at the poem, there's no dashes in the final 4 lines. This is because the speaker's mind is now clear and she's managed to rationalise her grief. Okay? One stanza could reflect that there is no break from grief and there's this gradual change. And there's a melancholic tone throughout. It's reflective and mournful, but then towards the end it becomes more hopeful. She has come to terms with the fact that grief ends. And you've got this quote, and thus without a wing, showing that grief is transformed into something more positive. And within this quote, if you remember from last lesson, we said that actually grief is able to leave unaided. It's part of this natural process. And again, it's an honest thought process. The poem's rhythm mirrors the pattern of everyday speech, therefore making it sound like the narrator's honest thoughts. So just some notes on form and structure for you then. Make sure that you're making notes on your poem and you've got some of these written down so that you can look back at them and revise in years 10 and 11. Now, just to check your knowledge and understanding, I would like you to have a go at the 5 questions that are on your screen now. So pause this lesson and take as much time as you need to have a go at answering those questions, and then I will go through the answers with you, Year 9. Okay, so question 1. What are the main emotions shown in the poem? It's the feeling of loss. So the loss of summer, the grief experienced after a loved one's death, and then ultimately, at the end of this poem, the loss of grief. Question number 2. How is the summer fading used as a metaphor? So summer ending suggests that the grieving process also has to end. Both take place so gradually that it is hardly noticed. Question 3. What does the one-verse stanza suggest about grief? And you should have written this gradual change. There's no stanza changes to split up her ideas. Remember, it's this continuing process, the gradual change of grief. Question 4, the mood and atmosphere of the poem. It's mournful, but then it's more decisive towards the end, showing the speaker has come to terms with the fact that grief ends. Something positive can result from the grieving process. Okay, this process of grief and loss. And then for question number 5, this was something that I just wanted you to do independently. So have a look at any keywords or phrases, particular lines, and explain to me what stands out to you the most and why. Maybe any words or phrases that you dislike, but make sure you are explaining in your answer. Excellent. So, if you haven't got these written down or you need to add a few more notes to each question, feel free to do that now and then move on when you're ready. Okay, so for this second part of the lesson, you'll notice in your fact book that there are 5 key quotations. And these key quotations relate to the key theme, the theme of time passing. Now, remember in this poem that time is moving on without the speaker. And because of this obsession with grief, she's lost track of time. So what I would like you to do then, Year 9, you'll notice that for the next few slides in this lesson, you've got the key quotation. And around the edge of that key quotation, you've got these grey boxes. Okay, there's 4 on this screen now that have got some questions that I would like you to answer. And hopefully, based on your knowledge of lesson 1 this week and this second lesson, you will be able to answer those questions. So what I would like you to do, either on your fact book page, or you can do this on a separate piece of paper and you can put each quotation onto one piece of paper and answer the questions around the edge. It's entirely up to you, but I would like you to answer the questions for each of the key quotes that you're going to see. So this is quote number 1, then there's quote number 2, quote number 3, quotation number 4, and then we have quotation number 5 on your screen now. So you'll probably need to rewind and go back to each of the 5 quotations and then pause the lesson so that you can answer those questions. Now, if you are really struggling and you're just not quite sure, I have put some key ideas onto the ending of this lesson. So you'll see here that you've got each of the 5 quotations, and then I have put some key ideas under each one. Now it might be worth going back and looking at the first lesson for this week as well, and then looking at the first part of this lesson to help you answer some of those questions. So I'm going to leave you to get on and have a go. Take your time, there's no rush. Hopefully you'll be able to answer all of those because you'll have gained knowledge from the 2 lessons. Okay, Year 9, good luck, take care, enjoy the rest of your week, and I will be back next week. Thank you.